Are you living in 5D or 3D? So if you haven't noticed, it's all the trend right now talking about living in 5D versus 3D. And if you need a refresher, 3D is the third dimension, being the dense here and now physical reality that we all perceive as real, substantial, which includes our bodies and everything from rocks to trees and the furniture we sit on. But the 5D or the fifth dimension is what all the buzz is about. And it's the higher dimension that is as much a reality as the 3D, but being human, it's harder to perceive because it's the energetic equivalent to our physical reality. And by the way, I'm Holly, and I'm sincerely hoping that you are the one that will help me out today by hitting the subscribe button so that I can reach my YouTube subscription goal sooner than later, hopefully. And if you want to work with me as your coach, mentor, guide, check out hollyshealinghub.net also. So anyway, how do we access 5D living? And why should we? Well, the 5D, where our higher self or our soul resides, can be accessed more easily if we can sustain an easy, unforced frequency of light and love in our physical reality, choosing to see things through a loving and trusting lens rather than a fearful lens. And by doing this, you and I, can access the world of miracles, essentially pulling the 5D into the 3D world, reconfiguring our physicality into its full state of truth, which is a healed state. I attribute my being here, alive on this planet, miraculous, because 10 years ago, my body was so ravaged by Lyme disease, co-infections, and activated viruses in my body that the only thing that didn't feel like it was on fire in my body was my pinky finger. And so after listening to Abraham, among other things, day in and day out, I began with my pinky finger and celebrating how good it felt. Until down the road, I could add other parts of me as well. I had nothing to lose, and I would have done anything to be the mom that my kids needed. I was so desperate to heal my body, I was barely able to move my limbs, barely able to see, barely able to think, sometimes forgetting my own name. But I was forced to tap into higher truths in order to heal, and the things I know today come from a lifetime of spiritual exploration and then 10 years of putting together a healed body brick by brick, breath by breath, one thought, one prayer at a time. And here I am, 10 years later. And this experience was the very necessary training ground for me to retrain my mind to focus my frequency out of fear and into love, hope, and possibility when hope seemed lost. And the whole thing really was a day-to-day reclaiming of my highest truth, focusing on 5D living, 5D consciousness versus the 3D physical reality of what felt like the mind-bending horrors of physical disease. And so the 5D is the version of us that doesn't even exist in linear time like we know it. And it's the version that was never physically hurt in a car accident or never physically stricken with cancer or disease. But if you read books like A Course in Miracles or A Course of Love, which, as you may know, is my favorite book, or you've been listening to maybe the modern metaphysical spiritual teachers out there, there's so many amazing people out there, you'll know that the 5D is just as real as the 3D, if not more viable and more vibrant. And yes, we can merge the 5D together with the 3D by visualizing what we want, because all creation starts at the level of thought. If you can visualize, let's say, turning a red chair into a blue chair, by any means you like, you can also visualize a broken bone as a healed bone, or a diagnosis of depression into a new version of expression. And what it really means is that we are seriously powerful people. So I'm going to give you 5 steps to get your 5D game face on, okay? Number 1, see the body as energy, knowing scientifically that all atoms that make up matter are actually just energy, which means that matter is movable and moldable just by thinking about it and imagining and visualizing. You can change the chemistry of your body all the time with your thoughts. Like salivating when you think of eating a lemon, right? I always like to say matter doesn't matter because matter isn't matter. Matter is energy, right? Therefore, matter is movable, and this is scientific. You know, that phrase that I just said came to me one night when I was driving in the middle of nowhere on a 2-lane highway, and it hit me like a lightning bolt, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Matter doesn't matter because matter isn't matter. Matter is energy, therefore matter is movable. So I'm going to go on to number 2. Number 2 is visualize specific images of what needs healing and see yourself as the conductor of your body, like an orchestra conductor, which I used to be, moving and retuning and recoding and reshaping your physical reality. You are bringing the 5D into the 3D, creating spiritual alchemy as the conductor of your own orchestra. You can be like the Jacob Collier of your body, right? Look him up if you don't know who he is, but trust me, you are as amazing as he is, just as brilliant and powerful to affect change within yourself. So I'm going to go on to number 2. Number 2 is visualize specific images of what needs healing and see yourself as the conductor of your body, like an orchestra conductor, which I used to be, moving and retuning and recoding and reshaping your physical reality. You are bringing the 5D into the 3D, creating spiritual alchemy as the conductor of your own orchestra. You can be like the Jacob Collier of your body, right? Look him up if you don't know who he is, but trust me, you are as amazing as he is, just as brilliant and powerful to affect change within yourself. So number 3, practice visualizing with feelings included. So not just visualizing, but visualizing and feeling how you feel when you are already healed. What would this healed version of you feel like? So as you visualize, be creative. I like to picture swirling lights, like a tornado of light, or swirling vortex, or like a wormhole in outer space at, like Mach speed with light swirling. Or maybe it could be like a tractor beam overhead, shining onto that part of you that needs healing, all while feeling the joy of freedom and ease, purity, clarity, right? I also like to imagine my body's molecules spreading out into space where all the molecules are washed in bright white light, or imagining myself diving into a golden, sparkly, healing stream. And notice all of these came straight out of my mind. And I know that you can do the same or better than I just did. This is how you do it. So visualizing and feeling the joy of your creations, this is how you do it. This is how you bring the 5D into your 3D reality. 5D into 3D, merging together. So number 4, practice living in a flow state. So even if you're at work, you can carry the energy of ease and flow. It keeps you close to the 5D, bringing it into your 3D reality, even just by thinking about dancing or singing in the car, moving your body in a silly, goofy way, or listening to music, making time for things like, if you like ecstatic dance or drumming, do it when no one's around, right? Or maybe when people are around. And if you follow Joe Dispenza, he has a powerful breath technique that amplifies your energy, connecting the 3D with the 5D. It's where you take a deep breath in and then hold your breath really hard, kind of bearing down. And while holding your breath, pushing all the breath energy all the way up your spine, up into your head, and flooding your head with light energy. The more you do this, the more you merge the 5D into the 3D, the energy literally coming together to recreate a lighter, light-filled, almost hybrid light body that reflects your highest truth in the physical. And if we create enough energetic movement with our minds through creative visualization, we can create an energetic momentum that can merge the 5D energy of our spirit body with our 3D physical dense body, essentially creating what's called a timeline collapse. Everything collapses back into 3D, having been remolecularized. And because the 5D is the perfect energetic version of who we are, this translates into what looks and feels like a miracle when the two come together, and it is. But it's also science, which is really just kind of science catching up to the truth of creation, right? No longer science of the future, but here and now, in this time, space, reality here. Wow, right? Just wow. All right, so last one, number 5, which is consistency. And without consistency, we're just dabbling like anything else, trying something once or twice, which doesn't really do it, right? But if you can think of it as a daily training, like going to the gym, rehearsing for a solo concert performance, over and over and over. That's how it's done. And I like to think of R.J. Spina, the guy who had healed his crushed spine in a hospital, took 7 months in a hospital visualizing, literally being able to regrow bone that had been pulverized, stunning his doctors. being in creative meditation the entire time, visualizing his back as if he were drawing on an Etch-a-Sketch toy. And because the 3D world is denser, it can take 7 months, but the guy did it, and it's just miraculous, but it's just what is real through visualization. You have to really want this new version of yourself, whether it's a healed body, healed mind, healed emotional state, or all of those things. And you have to just know, beyond knowing, that you have the power to affect real change and making the choice to go after it. It's like saying, this is what I'm doing, period. No other options. Not giving up when you don't see your results, like after a couple days. This takes, it's like a lifetime choice. And if you worry about the how and when, that's the very thing that stops the flow state. So dwelling on the how and when can become a stuck point that can be hard to get past. And I spent so many years of my life wondering how and when my healing would take place. I was so miserable. Nobody would have blamed me because I could hardly walk. I was always disoriented. I couldn't focus my eyes or sometimes even open them for days at a time. So all I thought about was how and when. But the healing became more evident the less I worried about how and when, right? So it's so important that you give yourself, give your body the time that it needs to heal and to trust in divine timing as well. And now I see that every day that I spent learning, miserable as it was, led me to this moment right now. And this YouTube channel, being here with you guys. But if you bring together the 5D with a 3D, you'll literally be living in a different timeline than you were before and completely altering the trajectory of your life. It's like jumping lanes on the freeway where suddenly you're in the fast lane and you're navigating the world in a whole new healed way. And even if right now, like let's say your healing goals feel like far off in the distance and you don't really know when your breakthrough is going to come, you're frustrated and it can be, I get it. It can be so hard, but I'm telling you, just keep practicing steps 1 through 5 over and over. You can collapse your already healed 5D quantum reality down into your 3D body and you will be made new, my friend. Just breathe and be patient. Know that you have the potential to create a new reality every minute of every day, even when it's hard, even when life feels unforgiving. You have everything inside of you to create your new reality, to make manifest all that you want in life. You are not outside of this capability. Don't turn excuses into roadblocks in your life. Step into your power. Step into your power today as a co-creator with the divine itself. You are so powerful. You can do this. Yes, you can. I know you can. And I am sending you so much love today. And stay tuned for upcoming videos. Please like, subscribe, and sign up for my 40 Days to Wellness course at hollyshealinghub.net, where I actually work with you one-on-one as a guide and metaphysical mentor for you on your healing journey. So take care, everyone. Just keep repeating steps 1 through 5. I know you can do this. You will get there. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. And I will see you soon.